Yes. Thank you. Okay, so how this XMR drive will be? The first I'll share the pattern how it is going to be. Then we can start our session. So for that I'll be sharing my screen. Just a minute. Okay, as it is a as this is a prelims test, first they will be checking your logical thinking. So logical thinking is nothing but your aptitude skills, and second is your technical skills. So if you are in if you are in CSE, they'll be checking so with your basic C with pointers and some DBMS concepts and some related subjects, so related to our core subjects. So similarly for EC they'll be checking with your core knowledge, but the interview process is going to be like the first round will be you'll be having about 30 to 40 45 MCQs, which will be a combination of both apti plus technical MCQs. And second round is going to be a coding. In that you will be having minimum of 2, maximum of 5 programs. And the third round is going to be your technical HR or HR. That depends on the round they are going to keep. But the first 2 rounds is going to be like this. So first round is going to be your apti plus technical, and second round is going to be a coding round. So this coding round, as XAware is concerned, so they will not be focusing more on data structures, or they will not be more focusing on what is an algorithm, how it is going to be, but they will be checking whether you are aware of it or not. So that is a basic skill they will be checking you, as it is a prelims test. Is that clear? Is it clear, guys? So you have to prepare mainly for this apti and technical MCQ. So this is the exact question pattern that I too don't know, but I'm telling this based on the previous year's question, and this is the first time they are going to start with the third years, and I hope this will be the pattern they will be asking you. So make sure, I want you guys to see for this. Um, okay, just a minute. Just a minute. Okay, so I hope you can see this. Just a minute, I'll share this. See, I have searched in Google, and there is an X7 interview questions. So you can see this pattern. So how they asked. So what is the requirement they are asking? Uh, so this is a interview one, and in interview 2 how it is going to be. The exact pattern on are there. So just go and verify whether what is this, what is this. So as for technical MCQ, I'm suggesting you to start with pointers. So in the last session we started with pointers. Just continue with that pointers so that it will help you. And just I will give you an overview for data structures and also what is meant by OOPS concepts. So today we can cover that, and the next session we can start with the structures and linked list. Is that fine? Guys, is it clear? Yeah. Okay. Okay, first thing I'm going to start with data structures. So data structures. What is a data structure? Why data structure? Sir, what is the use of data structure? Why we have to use this data structure? Any answers? So data structure, sir. So what is meant by data structure? Or you can tell me why we are going to use for data structure. So today I will be giving you an overview for this. So for this session, because this is the thing they are asked in Hexaware. So first I will start with an overview of data structures. Second, I will be covering with OOPS concepts. OOPS concepts. Yes, it helps to organize data, correct? Any other answers? Creating our own data type. Actually, creating our own data type is not for data structures. It is for structures. So structure, in the next session we'll be seeing what is a structure, how to create a structure. So that is the way that we will be creating our own data type. But what is with data structure? Yes, it is a way, it helps to organize the data. Yes, that is one thing. Super. Data organization and management. It helps to manipulate stored data, correct? It is helps to manipulate my stored data. So we are getting so much of points. So first, organize my data. Second, to manipulate my data. In your answers. Yes, sir. So whatever you said is correct. So okay. So okay, sir. Sir, then I have a question, sir. Why do I want to organize my data? What is the use of organizing? Why should I want to organize? What is the need for organizing my data? So before data structures, how we are going to save my data? How actually we saved our data before data structures? So well, before answering that, so tell me some data structures, some data structure concepts. Before answering my first question, some data structures or types of data structures. Yes, so yes, arrays, linked list, stack, queue. Yeah, good. So it is normally classified into majorly two types. Data structure is classified into two types. One is linear data structure. Another one is non-linear data structure. Non-linear data structure. So in linear data structure, we have the types as array and linked list. Actually, it array, linked list, everything comes under the list concept, and then we have stack queue. But we as a part of it, now we can split it as linked list, and then we'll be having stack and then queue, and then hashing. So hashing is the last linear data structure that is added to the later parts after nonlinear data structures. And in nonlinear data structure, we have graph, and graph is deciphered into tree. So both tree, all trees are a graph, but all graphs are not tree. So tree is a part of a graph. So these are the two major types of data structure, and each data structure has these types of data. Okay, sir. So now coming back to my question, sir. Before using array, how we are saving data? Before, so because as we know, the array is the first data structure that we used, that we started to use. So before array, how we saved our data? சார் அரே யூஸ் பண்றதுக்கு முன்னாடி நம்ம டேட்டாஸை எப்படி சார் சேவ் பண்ணுவோம்? சூப்பர், ஐ காட் an answer as no idea. Fine. Strings, super. Actually string is a character array, so there also it comes in a array, so that's not a part of it. In a variable, correct. So that is the answer. So before data structure, before using any array or any type of data structure, we started to store our data using our variables. So that's correct. So what happens is, so actually if I want to create a student database, let's consider it as a student database. So for example, I don't have any array, so any data structures, any linked list. So if I want to create a student database for a, for let's consider our class itself, for a, so 2022 ECE batch. So I want to create a database for it. So how many variables should I want to create? Normally, how many variables should I want to create? So for example, a single student will require a name. So that is going to be a character array. So that is going to be a name. So this is for, I'm just giving a single user's required variable. So, and I'll be getting his roll number and also his mark 1 and mark 2 and mark 3 and then mark 4 and then mark 5. So let's have it as a total, and as a float variable I'll be having as average or CGPA. Average or CGPA. Okay, average I'll be having it, and then in single character I'll be having his grade. I hope this is a, these are the variables. So I'm just using as a minimum variable, and for a single user, a minimum I required a minimum of uh, 4 plus 2 6, 6 plus 3 is going to be 9. So minimum of 9 variables should be used for a single users. If I want to create a database for 1000 students, so how many variables should I require? So for a single student, I'll be requiring minimum of 9 variables. Correct? For a single student, I should have a minimum of 9 variables. If I want to create a database for 100 students, then I should have a, at least I should have a 900 variables. Is that correct or not? Is that correct or wrong? Yes. So there is no difficulties in creating a 900 variables. I can create 900 variables. Like I can create this as a mark 1, mark 2, mark 3, mark 4, mark 5, mark 5. So mark into 900 I can create. And similarly, I can create a name as a name 1, name 2, name 3, name 4, name 100, and name 99 or name 900. I can create it. So there is no problem in it. But the actual problem where it comes is if I want to search a user or if I want to modify a user's data. So the problem arises there. Is it correct or wrong? So I don't know in which variable I'm going to save the person's name, or in which variable I'm going to save his roll number, or in which variable I'm going to save his mark 1, mark 2, mark 3. It is very difficult to collect all the users data into a single place and to modify it. Do you all agree with me? If I'm using it as a single variable, individual variables to save my data. Do you guys agree with me? So saving is not a problem, but when I'm going to do some operations, the problem arises there. So at that time, the use of variable will not help us because I don't know. So if I want to do a normal search, then to search a name, then I have to search for 900 variables. Then to search a roll number, then I have to search for 900 variables. Then if I want to search for mark 1, then I have to search for 900 variables. So the complexity comes there. And if I want to do modifications, I can do modification, and before modification I have to search for this 900 variables and I have to identify which number I'm going to change, and based on that I have to change the data. So this is a problem there. And also the memory, so the memories will be created in a random locations. It will not be in a specific organized manner. So for example in memory, in for example in an Excel, so I'm considering this. Okay, yes. So consider this is as our memory. Just I'm keeping this as my our memory, or consider this as our RAM structure. And the variables will be created like so. At some location I'll be creating as mark 1, and at some location I'll be creating as mark 2, and at different location I'll be creating as a mark 3, and then different location the it will be name 2. And if if I have created an application, and suppose what I did is I have not cleared all these memories. So once the process is over, or once my application, the process which I want to do is completed, and if I have not removed all these memories, and all these memories will become my stagnant value, and these memories will occupy all the memories that are assigned to this in our actual main memory. So the memories will also be wasted. Is that correct or wrong? Do you guys follow me? Do you guys able to follow me what I'm telling? Do you guys have any difficulties in understanding what I'm telling? So these are some problems that arises when we are using as a single variable. So to reduce these, so they started to use something to change these scenarios. So I have to create a memory that should be continuous, and with the single variable I have to access n number of values. So this is the scenario that first, this is the first problem they have reached. And to solve the problem, see, the first problem is the memory should be continuous, and I should use only single variable to access n number of variables. So this is the first problem they have came to. And to solve this problem, what they did, so what solution they arrived? To solve this problem, they started to use this concept as array. So yes, correct, array. So array is a continuous memory allocation, and with this what I can do, and also I can have a single variable to contain n number of variables, correct? To have n values. So example, roll number of 100, correct? So with a single variable, I can store n values, correct? So this is our first data structure. So, and also they will be telling this is not only array is not only a store data structure. Array is also called as storage structure. Storage structure and also data structure. Sir, what is that storage structure, sir? What is that storage structure? So storage structure இங்கே நம்ம கேள்விப்பட்டிருக்கோமே sir. Storage structures. In the last session I have given you an example. Storage structures. The last session. Storage structures. Storage structures is nothing but the place or the memory where I'm going to store my data. So if this is my main memory or my RAM, so this is going to be my storage structure, and this storage structure is going to be split into 4 parts. One is register. Do you guys remember? Second one is cache. Third one is, what is the third one? You guys remember our last session? Yes, it is a stack memory, and the fourth one is heap, correct? Good. So these are the 4 storage structures that are available. So this array, what this array do is, it is not only telling how the data should be stored and where the data should be stored. Because if I'm creating an array, then this array will create a memory either in stack memory or in a heap memory. So based on the type I'm going to create. If it is a normal static, so if it is I'm using a square bracket, then that memory will be created in a stack location. And if I'm using a pointer, then that memory will be created inside my heap. So in the last session, we have seen the difference between these two. Do you guys remember or not? Just remember recall these last sessions. Yes. Yes. Up to this, everyone clear? Yes. Up to this, is anyone having any doubts? Guys, if you have any doubts up to this, you can ask me now. So no doubt. Okay, then I can do one thing. Okay, can anyone open your mic and summarize the points what we have seen up to this point? Can anyone? Can unmute yourself and you can summarize what we have seen up to this. Anyone?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Srinika, correct?
Srina, sir.
Srina, sorry. Okay. Yeah, Srina. Yeah, just summarize the points, what we have seen.
Sir, we have seen about data structure, why we need data structure, and what is the usage of data structure, and the types of data structures. And if data structure is not there, what are the issues we are going to face, and how the memory location is needed, the difference between the memory location we use in variables and in data structures, sir.
Yes, correct. Thank you. Thank you, Srika.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay.
Srina, sir.
Sorry. Sorry, ba. Okay. Okay, so guys, I hope you got an idea. See, these are the, see, whatever I'm telling you right now, so these are the points that they'll be asking in your face-to-face technical HR. So in a technical HR, they'll be expecting you to explain these concepts. So why we are going for array and how the memory is going to be allocated for array, and what is a linked list, how this linked list, so why we are going for linked list, what is the use of linked list, and what is a stack, what is a queue, so what is the advantage of using stack and queue. So these are the, so these are the questions that you will be facing in a technical HR. So not only in Hexaware, even for Amazon, even for Zoho, even for any product companies, if they are going to test you in data structures, these are the starting point of your questions. If they are going to start with data structures, and this is your starting point. What is the memory? How the memory is used for each and every variables? What is the data structure? What are the types of data structures are there? And why we are going for data structure, what is the use of data structures, and how the memory is going to be allocated for each data structures. So these these are the questions that you will be facing. So if you want, you can make a note of it. Please guys, remember, I'm not taking this session only for Hexaware, because these are the basic concepts and this will be asked for every company. So I just want to give you an overview for this. And while we are going for each topic, so as we in the last session we started with the array and matrix, in the next session we'll be go through the structures, and we'll be starting with linked list, and then we'll be moving to next stack and queue. So in this way we'll be moving, but before that, as a Hexaware is coming up, so I just want to give you an overview, what is happening, so just this is the overview class. Just understand what is it, then we can move, then we can see in a detailed way. Okay, so where I stopped, so yeah, so array is not only telling me how the data to be stored, it is not going to be organized. So what is organizing? Organizing is nothing but where the data to be stored and how the data to be stored. So that is the organizing my data. So data structure is telling me that if I'm going to store a data, if I'm going to store n number of data, so for example I have created an array of roll number 100, then the continuous 100 memories, so continuous 100 memories will be occupied by the single variable or single reference. So this continuous memory will be occupied by my array. Is that correct or wrong? So the continuous memory will be allocated, and also it is not only occupying memory, and it also tells how the data to be stored, because in array all the data should be stored starting from index 0, and it should go up to n minus 1. So it can go up to n minus. So n minus 1 is nothing but my actual size of my array. So it is not only telling where to store my data, it is also telling how to store my data. So this makes this array as both storage structure and also data structure. Do you guys clear? So storage structure means if I'm going to create it as a static, then it creates memory in stack memory. And if I'm going to create it as a pointer reference, then it will create the memory in a heap. So for due to this reason, it is called as a storage structure. And how to store my data. So it should be organizing my data. So for this reasons, it is called as a data structures. Do you guys understand why it is called is both storage structure and also data structure? Array is both called as a storage structure and also as data structure. This is the reason, because it is telling where to create my memory and how to create my memory and how to save my data. So these are the reasons. So first data structure is arrays. Okay, then the problems start to come. So what are the problems that are there in array data structures? So we have, before this array, we have two problems. That is continuous. There is no continuous memory allocation, and there is no single variable to access n number of values. So this is a problem they faced before array. So after we started to solve this, we started to using this array. So array has solved all the both these problems. So, and this also giving me these features as where to store my data and how to store my data. So it is a data structure and also a storage structure. Okay, sir. Now, what are the problems that can occur in my array? Problems in array. Yes, array is of fixed size. First problem. Array is of fixed size. Super. Memory full. Memory full. Memory full. Memory full. I can't get you. Dharnishan. Actually, memory full அப்படினா அது எனக்கு புரியல. Okay, the number of elements to be stored in an array should be known in advance. Yes, correct. So that is the array is fixed size. Storage is limited. Wastage of memory. Yeah, wastage of memory. Correct. Yes, wastage of memory. Yes, so here I got another answer. So insertion and deletion is quite difficult. Correct. Super. So deletion is difficult. And what is that another answer I got? Single data type value. Yes, correct. Single data type value. Okay, so these are the problems. So we can find, so actually we have tried to find a solution for a problem. But what happens is that problem again created so much of problems. Yes, so now what we have to do, we have to solve all these problems. So we have to not only store our data, we have to also make it a little more efficient so that it can be used as globally. So to solve all these problems, they come into a next data structure. So there is a solution is what they suggested as linked list, or we can tell it as a list, but for our understanding I'm telling it as a linked list. Correct. So what happens is, so what is in the array is fixed size. So array fixed size means if I'm creating an array as roll number of 10, but I have already inserted 10 persons roll number. If I want to add another one more persons, I cannot add. So that is my first problem. Or so similarly memory wastage. So int roll number of 1000. In this type here, I'm just going to create a roll number only for one single person, or it is going to be for a 10 person. But what happens is I have created a memory for 1000 students. So the memory wastage occurs. Yes. Do you guys understand these two scenarios? So what is the drawback in arrays? So array fixed size is, if I have I have created an array of 10 size, and if I want to add one more variable to that, if I type to add one more variable, what happens is I cannot add this one more variable because the memory is not created. In the second, wastage of memory, if I have created a large memory and I want to save only a minimum data, that is a 10 by 10 memories, or it's going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4 single digit value, then I have created a memory of 1000 bytes, then the memory wastage occurs there. Yes. So these are my main two problems. And also, what happens is, so insertion and deletion is difficult. Yes. If so, for a consider, so I have created 1000 variable values and I have inserted all the values. And if I want to delete a value that is at the location of index of 1, at the index of 1, I want to delete the value. What should I do? What will happen in array? If I want to delete the value at the index 1 in an array, what I have to do? Or what will take place at that time? Okay, we can make it as null. So null is one type that is came after C99. So C99, so before C99 there is no null values. So they have to give it as any initial value of the data type. So like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, or it can be if it is a character, then it can be of a star, like that. So we have to give the value as it is. So any other solution, if I want to delete a specific value at a specific index, then what are the steps to be followed? Correct. Actually, we cannot decrease the size. We cannot decrease the array size. Once we initialize the array size, we are not able to decrease the array size. Karthikeyan, as he said, so we cannot decrease our size. And also, yeah, Darshan, Dharanishan. Yeah, Dharnishan has given an answer. So what we have to do is, we have to swap all the elements from the next index of the element to be deleted. We have to swap all the elements from the next index to the last index. So for example, if I'm deleting at the index 1, then I have to copy the element from index 2 to 1, and index 3 to 2, index 4 to 3, index 5 to 4. So I have to do this process up to last. So this is an example. So for example, I have a value like this. So consider this as my value. So and my index is going to be so an index is going to be 0, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. So these are my index. So what I said, if I want to delete a value at the index 1, so if I want to delete the value at the index 1, then what I have to do, I have to swap all the values that are available in the next index. So this index value should be replaced with the next index, whether it should be replaced with 3, and this should be replaced with 4, and this should be replaced with 5. The next index value should be replaced with the previous index. So and this should be 7, and this should be 8, and this should be 9, and this should be kept empty, or we can keep it as a normal value. So that depends on the user's preference. So either he can change it to a null value or he can keep the same value, or he can put it as a null value. So after C9, he can put it as a null value. But the index should not be kept as null until the data reaches the n. Because if I have kept any null values in between my array, if I am keeping any null values here, what the compiler considers, so this is the last value. So what the compiler will consider as, so 1 is the last value and there is no more data that is available to the next value. So the array stops here. The compiler may consider like that. So for our better understanding, we will not be keeping null value at the middle of any arrays. We will be keeping the null value only at the last. Is that clear? So this is one scenario. So similarly, so this is for deletion. And if I want to insert a new data, if suppose I want to insert a value 2 at this index 1, what I have to do? I have to do the process in the reverse process. So I have to move one step back. So I have to move the index 7's value to the index 8 and index 7 values to be, sorry, index 6 value to index 7. So this should be 8 and this should be 7 and this should be 6. Sorry, this should be 6 and this should be 5 and this should be 4 and this should be 3 and this should be 2. So in this way we have to do. So the insertion and deletion, what happens is to insert a single value, we have to iterate through n elements, and to delete an any value. So delete any value in an array, then that takes an n operations. Do you get that? Do you get this? Do you get this? So these are the some drawbacks. Some drawbacks I have given you. So one is a fixed size, one is a wastage of memory, insertion, deletion, and also single data type value. So this will be understanding when we are familiar with structures. In the next session we'll be seeing what is a structure and what is the use of structure. So this is later part, then we can see in the next part. But these are some common drawbacks. Do you guys understand what are the drawbacks in arrays? So to insertion, we have to traverse through this. To insertion, it takes order of n. So there is O of n times. I have to travel for n elements. And similarly, if I want to delete, I have to traverse for n elements. Correct. To insert a new element, I have to traverse n element. I have to move the 8th index to, sorry, 7th index to 8th index, 6th index to 7th index. So I have to traverse for n elements. Similarly, for deleting, I have to swap all the elements from my next index to my previous index. So these are the drawbacks that I am facing in array. So to solve this, they suggested the solution as linked list. So what they did is, so what are the problems? The size should not be fixed. Yes, in linked list, what happens is we'll be having a head. So after this head, I'll be adding this node 1. So this node 1 is going to have my data. And the data can be of any data type. So data can be of any type. It can be a number, it can be a list, it can be a name, it can be a character, it can be a float, it can be any data type. So this node is a type of structure, and this structure can have any number of data types. Sorry, any type of data. And also, what happens is it will not occupy a continuous memory allocation. It will not occupy a continuous memory. Just the data, whenever the data is going to come, then the memory is going to be created, and the created memory is going to be added to my list. So what happens is the size cannot be fixed. Correct? I can add n number of data. If I want to add a new student details, then I can add it in the node 2. I can create a node and I can insert all the student data into my node 2, and I can add the node 2 to my linked list, the last of my linked list. So Bharat has asked a question. So, sir, is it possible to increase or decrease the array size after initializing it with some size? Actually, there is a function called realloc. In the last session I have told you there is a 3 functions which will actually create memory for users. One is malloc, another one is CLOG, and the third one is realog. So realog is the function which helps you to reallocate the memory, which is nothing but we can either increase the memory or decrease the memory. So that is the actual process. But actually what realog do is, it is actually going to create a new memory and it is going to copy the value from my old array to my new array. So that is the actual realog process it does. It will not actually go to the same memory allocation and it will not increase the memory or it will not decrease the memory. It will create a new memory in a new different location and copy all the values from my old location to my new location and change the value of my starting index to my new location. So this is what the realog function do. Is that clear, Bharat? Yes, we have a realog function. Okay. So coming back to linked list. So if we want to add one more data, if I want to add one more student's data, then I can create a node, new node, and I have to add all the values to my node, and I can add the node to my last of my linked list. I can add it to any position. Okay, sir. So size problem has been reduced because whenever the data to be inserted, then only the memory is going to be created. So I don't want to give an initial size or I don't want to have an extra space. So by this we have reduced these two problems. Okay, sir. Then insertion and deletion. Okay, sir. If I want to insert a new data or if I want to insert a new data before this node 2, what I can do, I'll be creating a node. So I'll be creating this node. What I'll be doing is I'll be creating this node, and what I have to do, I have to insert this node after this node 1. Then what I'll be doing is I have to give the node 4's address to node 1 and node 2's address to node 4. So what happens is I'll be having this node 2 address. This will be pointing to my node 2. Hello. So someone has joined without your roll number. So Kamal Raj, are you there? And some person has joined as a callers. And guys, those who are joined as a caller, please move out and join with your roll number or with a specific name. Yes. Thank you. Kamal Raj, you too move out of the meeting and join with your roll number. Okay, let's continue. So what happens is, if I want to insert this node 4 here, then what I'll be doing is, I'll be adding the next value to this. So just I'll be inserting node 4 and just I'll be move the reference of node 2 to my node 4. And similarly, I'll be giving node 4's reference to my node 1 so that I can easily insert the value at any locations. So by using this, I'm solving this insertion problem also. Similarly, if I want to delete this node 4, what I have to do? Just this node 4 address will be present in the node 1. Then just I have to remove this address, and instead of that, I have to replace with the next node's address. That is node 2's address to my node 1, so that I can remove any node from any location. So by using this, I'm solving this insertion and deletion problem also. Do you guys clear? So this is how we have solved the problem. So we have these problems in my array. So this is an example problems, and okay. Okay, sorry guys. Okay. Um, okay, so with this, we are solving these problems, or the difficulties that as array problems in array is solved by using this linked list data type for data structure. And also it is so this linked list is also called as both storage structure and data structure. This linked list is also called as both storage and data structure. So it has the same similar features of array. It is not only going to tell me where to create my memory, it is also telling how to create my memory and where the memory should be created, and how the data to be linked with the next data. So it is telling, so here this array uses this index to store my data. There's 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, or my index on the based on the index the value should be arranged. Similarly, the linked list has, so similarly the linked list tells where the data to be, where the node to be created, and the node to be inserted at which position. So these are the advantages. These are the advantages of linked list. Okay, sir. So do you guys understand why we are going for linked list and how we are going to solve the problem, or how we have solved these problems? Do you guys understand why we are going for this linked list and how we are solving these problems that are formed by array? Do you guys understand this? So in the next session, we'll be seeing still more detailed about linked list, how to create a linked list, and how to insert a value. Okay. If you guys have any doubt, you can ask me. So about this. About this linked list. So why we are going for linked list, and what are the advantages of linked list? Yeah, there are types of linked list. There are single linked list, double linked list, and there are circular linked list. In circular, we have a single circular linked list and doubly circular linked list. Sorry, linked list. So there are so many types we can see in the next sessions, in the upcoming sessions. So next, so after this, okay guys. So as we solve the problems in linked list, as we solve the problems in arrays, we came to a data structure as called as data as linked list. But there are some drawbacks in linked list. Problems in linked list. You guys able to follow this? Find any problems or any drawbacks in linked list? Super. Searching an element. Correct. Yes, for a particular index, we have to traverse. Yes, correct. Exactly the searching. The problem is searching. So if I want to search, it is complex when comparing to array. No, it is not complex. Okay, while searching, it is still complex. Okay, so because in array we have this link, these indexes. So based on the index, I can traverse. But in linked list, we will not be seeing any indexes. We'll be having only the address of my next data type. So address of my next node. So you'll be having only the address of my next node. So based on the address, we have to search for an element. So that is the main problem that we have. Okay. So searching is a main problem. Searching. Okay, sir. Okay, so this is not only the problem that is there. So there are also some more problems. That is there any specific way to insert my data? Sir, this is the way that I have to insert my data to my linked list. Sir, this is the way that I have to insert my data to my array. Do you have any specific structure? Because array and linked list will allow us to store or insert data or to delete data at any indexes or at any point. Yes, I can insert my data at index 1, I can insert my data at index 2, I can insert my data at index, any index I want. Similarly, in linked list, I can insert my node at any index, at any point I can insert, and at any index I can delete. Correct? There is no formal structure how the data to be stored and how the data to be removed, because both array and linked list will not restrict us. It will just allow us to do a process at any indexes or at any locations. Do you agree or not? Do you guys agree or not this? Yes, I can do operation of insertion and deletion at any indexes in array. Similarly, I can do insertion and deletion at any node, at any index or any node in my linked list. So there is no proper structure maintained here. So that the organizing of data will again give me a O of n time complexity, O of n complexity. Is it correct or not? If I want to insert an element at specific index, then I have to traverse for n indexes. Similarly, if I want to insert a node at a specific node or after a specific node, for example, if I want to insert node 5 after node 2, then I have to traverse from head to node 1, node 2, and after node 2, I have to insert this node 5. So I have to traverse up to my node 2. So there is a specific uh, so what is it? Yeah. So if I want to insert or delete, I will not having any restrictions. I can do it any point. But whether this makes anything easy for us, because to insert also we are going to traverse for n elements. To delete also we are going to traverse for n elements. So insertion and deletion is going to give me still more problems. But we have rectified some problems from array, but this is also going to create some more time complexities. not an efficiency, but it is not going to be an efficient way if we are not restricting this. So to restrict this, they created a two more. Actually, this is a pure data structure format. Actually, pure data structure. They'll be telling this as a pure data structure, but the concepts are, one is stack, another one is queue. So stack has its own principle. What is the principle for stack? Yes, first in, last out. It can be vice versa, last in, first out. It can be first in, last out, or last in, first out. Yes, correct. Which states that, what is it? What it states? First in, last out. Which states that the element which is going to be inserted at the first is going to be moved out of my data structure at the last. Or the element which is inserted at the last is going to be removed at the first. Correct? Which states that where to insert my data and where to delete my data. So that is a principle that is given by stack. Yes, the last element which is going to be inserted, the last element is going to enter my data structure is going to be inserted at specific position, and that is the where the element is going to be deleted. Do you guys understand what I'm telling? These two data structures, actually stack and queue, are the more or the efficient structures. So what is the principle for queue? Yes, first in, first out, or yes, first in, first out, or first in, last out. So this gas first in, first out, or I can tell it as a last in, last out. So this is similarly I can tell it as a first in, last out, or last in, first out. So this restricts the users where the data to be inserted and where the data to be deleted. Do you guys understand this? Yes. And what is the advantage that I have gathered from this? Apart from this array and linked list, what is the advantage over the stack and queue? As we mentioned, there is no restriction in insertion and deletion for arrays and linked list. So to overcome that, we have come up to this stack and queue concept, which has a restriction where the data to be inserted and where the data to be deleted. So there is a restriction that is given in these two data types. By doing this, what is the advantage that we acquired from this data structure? Proper data structure? No. Do not to traverse. Yes. Actually, what happens is the insertion and deletion takes as a constant position at a constant time complexity. So the operations, the insertion operation and deletion operation will always take a time complexity of O of 1, which is a constant time complexity. In array and linked list, we have the complexity of O of n, because to insert an element at specific index, we have to traverse to up to n index, correct? Similarly for node, where it gives a complexity of O of n. But here, these both data structures will give the complexity of O of 1. So this is the advantage of stack and queue when compared to arrays and linked list. All the operations, that is insertion or deletion or searching, but searching will always give me O of n in linear time complexity, but linear data structures. So, but insertion and deletion, the time limit for that is converted to O of 1 time. Do you guys understand this? What is this O of 1? O of 1 is nothing but the time taken for insertion and deletion. Do you guys understand this? So this is the advantage. Why most of the data structures are using stack and queue apart from array, normal array or linked list. Yes, stack and queue is going to be implemented using either an array or stack or linked list, but with restriction. That is the main concept in stack and queue. Yes. Yes, guys. Do you understand up to this? What is happening? So what are the types of data structures and what are the drawbacks of each data structure and what is the advantage of each data structures? So actually what happens is in stack, both insertion and deletion takes at the single position. Both insertion and deletion it takes a single position. That is nothing but my top position. And to solve this, they have another data type, that is a data structure, that is my queue, where my insertion at one position, insertion at first, and deletion at last. So that is the difference between this stack and queue. So both has same O of 1 complexity for insertion and deletion. Please keep that in mind, for insertion and deletion. The stack and queue is giving me a restriction. If I'm going to use stack, then the insertion should take place at a single point. If I'm going to use stack, then the deletion should take place only at the single point. Similarly, if I'm going to use queue, the insertion should take place only at the first position, or the deletion should take place only at the last position. So these are the some restrictions that is given by stack and queue. And both the stack and queue will be implementing using either linked list or array. Just giving an added restriction to my linked list and array. So there is a difference in stack and queue. And by achieving this, by using this, we are achieving a complexity of O of 1, which is nothing but a constant time complexity, which makes us or which makes our application more efficient. Yes. Yes, guys. Do you guys understand this? Do you guys understand this? Do you guys have any doubt in it? If you guys have any doubts in this introduction part of data structures. Thank you. So now the problem comes. So for all these data types, so for array, linked list, and stack and queue, the only problem that we have is searching. Searching, correct? Because if I want to search an element in either a linked list or in an array or in a stack or in a queue, the time complexity for that is always going to be O of n. So that is a problem in linear data structure. I'm generally customizing it as a linear data structure. I'm not including this hash. Hashing comes after my nonlinear data structures. So because okay, when we see hashing, there you will be understanding more little bit more clear. But just up to this point, up to array, linked list, stack, and queue, the only problem is searching an element in my given data structure. So if I'm going to search an element, then the searching will always takes me a complexity of order of n. Order of n is nothing but if I want to find a data of 10, then I have to traverse my from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So to reach my 10, I have to cross n elements. That is my 9 elements. So I have to cross my 9 elements. So that is the complexity. That is my the n is nothing but the number of elements I'm going to traverse or I'm going to pass by to reach my destination. So that is the time complexity. Do you guys understand what is a major problem? Major problem in stack, queue, and linked list and array, or in general, I can tell it as a linear data structure. The problem in my linear data structure. Okay, sir. So to overcome this problem, we are going for this non-linear data structure. So to overcome these problems, the searching problem, what we are doing is we are going for non-linear data structure. So what is the non-linear data structure? Sir, before this, there are two types of searching algorithms there. So I have two types of searching algorithms. So one is my linear search. Linear search. Another one is my binary search. Yes, guys. So by this, I'm going to stop the session now because at 11 you will be having this. What is that session? You have social distance activity. What is that? I forgot the name. You have a session in webinar jam. Yes, guys. Guys, are you there? Yes. So with this, I'm stopping the session one. Our session two will start from. At, I hope so. From 11. I think so. At 11 the meeting will over. Yes, so okay, 12. By 12 if the session will over. So by 12 we can start our next session. So the next session password will be shared through the WhatsApp group. Yes. Okay. So now we can leave and go and attend the same session. The session in a webinar jam, the social distance activities session conducted by our college. So make sure you are present there. Then after this, we can start from the same point where we left. Thank you. Thank you for joining.